So by last class, we were discussing regarding the views. We have started many views, okay, and we have discussed regarding these views by last class. Okay, hope we're discussing regarding the screen components. In that, we discussed what are the different views are available, like different types of layout we've seen. Okay, the views and groups. In that also we've seen different types of layout, linear layout, absolute layout, table, frame, relative. All these we discussed, and some of the descriptions for that we discussed how to set the, okay, for bottom margin, left margin, right, all those stuff, how to set. For that, what is the exact function we are going to use, that we discussed, and how it has been measured. So when we set that some points, maybe 50, 10, 5, 100, so what is that represents? So what is the unit of measurement? So for that, we discussed these things. And also we discussed regarding the screen densities. Even though all these have been already discussed in the unit number 1, so just for a revision, I also said you for the second time here in this unit. So screen densities also we discussed, and then adding views to our layout. Okay, so your layout is nothing but what you see is the layout. Okay, what you are going to see is the layout, and components are available in the palette window. Whatever, if you open the Android Studio, in that Android Studio, all the components will be available in the palette window. From the palette window, you will be drag and drop the components into your layout. Okay, so like that you will be doing that. And if you want to edit the, after you drag and drop the components, that is also possible with the help of edit view attributes. So just you will be editing the attributes which is given at the attribute tab, which is to the right hand side of the layout window. Okay, just be clicking that, you can view that. So that we discussed, and also we seen what are the components we have inside that edit window attribute. Okay, so these are the 6 components that we discussed in last class. And then we also start learning the view and view groups. Okay, so under view and view groups, there are many views are available, and we have started learning the basic views by last class. So when I say it is a basic view, text view, checkbox, images, button, okay, all these are your basic views. Okay, so for that, we have started learning some of the UI components which are available under the basic view. So one is text view, edit text, autocomplete button, image button, checkbox, toggle button, radio group, progress bar. All these comes under basic views. Okay, and this is a thing which I have added something new for you to show. Okay, if it is a text view, I'll be using text view as the main, okay, as the main content. Inside that, I'll be fitting the width and height of the text view. Okay, it will fit according to the parent content. Or if you want to go with some constraint layout, you can also use the constraint layout here. And if you want to set some text for the text view, you can also add the text like hello, whatever text you want, like that, for everything. For it is a button. If you want to save, if you want to have some text to the button, I can give it as like save. For example, given the save, and this is the ID. This ID is nothing but how ID which is given for an student in a college. Okay, in a college, each student has their own name, even though you have name like save, but you may have multiple save also. Okay, in a particular app, you may have multiple save in particular different places. Maybe at the first screen, at fifth screen, at the 10th screen, you may have. Okay, but I want to differentiate which save it is. For that, we'll be having the ID. Okay, based upon this ID, I can easily classify or easily pinpoint which save it is. For that, I'll be using the ID for the particular component. For each and every component, we can also have the ID part. Okay, and same image button we seen, right? Image button, this one. Okay, so this is the image button. That for that image button, you can also have the mm, ID. Okay, and then the source, if you want from which source it is taking. Okay, so like that you can add it. I'll show in the next coming diagrams from how to add these images into your sources or into the repository. How to add this, we'll see now. Okay, and then edit text, same way as edit text. So for the edit text also, you have the ID field, and then width and height of this edit text, and then checkboxes, same way for checkboxes. You have the ID part for the checkboxes, and then width and height, and then the text for the checkbox, like that. For radio button and radio button group. Okay, radio group as well as radio button. If I say radio group, Okay, you will have the width and height for a particular group and how it has to be oriented, either vertical direction or in a horizontal direction. So that is that comes under this radio group, and then the buttons. Okay, this is a general setting, and then we'll have the button. How many buttons you want? You have 2 buttons or 3 buttons or 10 radio buttons. So that will be displayed here. So this is the first button. It text is option one. So option one, option two. When we go for having multiple choice questions, first option, second, like that, I can give my own naming for the text, and I can group it to a particular question. If I have the first question, in the first question, if I want to have 4 options, I'll be using 4 radio buttons. That can be grouped together. So that we call it as the radio button or radio group. Okay. And same way we have the toggle buttons. So for that, width and height has been set, and then progress bar, auto complete text, time picker, date picker, spinner. All these are the same way. Like all these are the basic views. So that can be added into our layout. Okay, all these that can be added into our layout. Okay. So this is the thing which I would like to show you. And these are the basic properties that has to be set when we are going to deal with the views. Okay, first one is set property, set focus, set up listeners, and set visibility. All these has to be set when you are going to work with the basic views. Okay, and we discussed up to this views, right? Anti-picker views, all this we discussed. So setting the date and setting the time is one of the picker views. Okay, under picker views we discussed this, setting the time as well as setting the date. Okay, this we discussed by last class itself. And for that we have 2 classes. One is the date picker dialog and then time picker dialog. This we have seen. Okay, and we also concept called the see, if you see the third box, using the pickers also you can also work with auto filling. Auto filling framework is also possible in this picker box. Okay, so that is possible from Android version 8.0 onwards. So, and also we discussed adapter. So this Android picker view is apart from the basic view. So basic view is nothing but all these are comes under basic view. So whatever I listed out here, all these comes under basic view. Apart from basic view, so the next view what we learned here is the Android picker view. So under this picker view, we studied the date and time view is one example for picker views. Okay, one example for picker views, and then and the next what we discussed is adapter view. And we seen what is meant by an adapter. So when we have a millions of collections of data in our database, and when we want to filter out and then show it to the user, how this adapter helps. Okay, same way, for example, in a transformer, when we say transformer, it will work on 230. When it comes to household, it may reduce depending upon the application. If it is a high application like AC, you need to have more power. If I want to put only charger to a mobile phone charger, then it consumes only less power. If it comes to a mixie, then it comes to some medium size power, like that the power variation differs. Okay, so based upon that, we use adapters like led um, bulbs. Okay, like that there are various different household applications are available. So for that, adapter plays a major role. Same way, so in our Android, when we are going to use an adapter, it will act as a bridge between the source as well as the user interface. This also we seen by last class. Okay, so and I shown you this diagram also. So this interface is nothing but like list, the grid, and the spinner. All these are the adapter, I can say. Okay, so one adapter what can be as a list view. So now, if it is a list view, what will happen now? Only that element, 6 to 7 element, which is viewable in our screen, that element alone will be accessed at the current time, and the rest of the element will not be accessed. Okay, so what happens? Obviously, more amount of memory and response time, everything will get increased automatically. So this is one view. This is one adapter view and grid view. This is for a group of images. Okay, or the regular pattern can also be converted into grid view. Okay, here also a group of images. This group of images alone will be under the current active position, and all remaining will not be active at the current time. So only this memory alone will be loaded, and this memory element alone will be displayed into the user interface layout screen. Okay, and same as the spinner. So this is the thing which we discussed by last class. And in today's class, when we will be discussing the displaying pictures and the menus with views. So before we start, let me check how many of them have joined. Only 67. Still 10 more has to join. 11 more has to join. Okay. Please inform your friends to join, because only if there is a lack of attendance, I can't help you in any other way. So if your friends have not joined, tell them to join. Okay, only 67 out of 78. So I'm not going to stop. Just I'll be continuing my session. So today's session will be starting with displaying pictures and menus with views. So here we are going to see menu views. Okay, the next topic is menu view. Before that, what we're saying is the adapter view, and then we discussed regarding the picker views, right? Same way, it is menu view. Next title is menu view. So using the images as well as the menus, how we are going to work. Okay. So using image views to display the picture. Let us take an example. Image views to display the pictures. Okay. So to display images, you can use either image view or gallery view or image switcher view and grid views. All these can be used. Okay, you can use all these four. Either you can use image view, image alone can be viewed, or it can be viewed in a gallery or image switcher. So image switcher is nothing but moving from one image to another image. If you want to move from one image to another image, how the switching should happen? That is, you call it as fade in, fade out, right? From when we move from one image to another image or one screen to another screen. Even if you take the PPT, somebody will be adding some transition, right? So how the image, how the screen should move from the top to left or left to top or bottom to right. Some animation designs some people will be adding to the screen. So that we call it as image switcher, and then grid views. Okay, all these are the different views that can be used to display the images. Okay, so here in this example, we are going to see gallery and image views. Okay, we are going to see gallery and image views. We are going to see in this particular slide. So the gallery view is a view that shows items in a center locked horizontal scrolling list. Okay, but you could see the scrolling. We will see the scrolling. Okay, just what we can see. We can see a list of collection of images which are available. So the figure shows how the gallery view looks. It is displaying some images. So this we call it as the gallery view, and this is the example for gallery and image view, and then we call it as image views. In this gallery, if I select it like that, it can be displayed. It can be viewed separately. Like so, this we call this, since it is an emulator. It looks like this. In this gallery, if you click particular image, what happens? That opens, right? I can view that image in a regular size. Or I can say it that image will fill the entire screen. I can say in this way. When you click the particular image in the gallery, what happens? That image will be filling the entire screen as per the pixel or as per the hardware of the particular screen. Either it can be 5-inch screen or 7-inch screen or 14-inch screen. According to the hardware available, it will fill the screen. Okay, as well as it will also be considered based upon the pixel value, both x and y portion of the images. Okay, or we can say resolution of the images also. And so image switcher view. So for example, let us consider we want to apply some animation to the image. We want to apply some animation to the image when it transferred from one image to another image. Okay, so this is a simple example. Let us consider. I want to apply some transit from one image to another image. If you see here in this, this cat will be blurred now. When it comes, it will be visible. But when it was before that, before tiger is under view, this cat will be visible. It will be invisible, partially visible, I can say. So, or I can say in other terms, if you could see if you see it in coding, so how this is named is fade in and fade out. So that is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth line and sixth line you can see. So in the image switcher view, we'll be using the image switcher. Okay, so it is based upon the ID. Okay, base switcher one. So we have chosen switcher one as the ID. For the switcher one, what we do? Okay, we are going to apply some animations. We are going to load some animation. So that is fade in as one animation and fade out as another animation. When we are moved from current to previous or previous to current. Okay, this is how we add the image switcher views to the list of images which is available in the gallery. Okay, So here it happens whenever you press the next button. Whenever the next button is clicked, image will be keep on moving, right? When images keep on moving, what happens? Automatically the fade in, fade out happens. Like that, you can have anything. Okay, that depends. So this is one example for image switcher view. So here, as and for example, it is made as a button to click. Once the button is clicked, the image is moves. In gallery, what we do? We scroll it, right, with the help of our touch button, with touch screen. We scroll the images, and when we click the button, when we click the image, particular image, and then if I want to move from either left to right or right to left. Okay, for that we have some settings. Either it should move in a box view or it should move from left to right or top to right, something. We have some many views, right? That we call it as the image switcher views. Okay. And next one is grid view. So the grid view shows the items in a two-dimensional scrolling grid. Okay. So you can use the grid view together with an image view to display the series of images. Okay, so image is nothing but grid view is nothing but we need to have a series of images, and that images has to be viewed in a two dimension from 2 cross 2, like a 3 cross 3 or 4 cross 4, 4 cross 4 or 4 cross 5. Like that, you can choose the dimension of the particular grid, and based upon choosing the dimension of the grid, the elements will be loaded according to the grid size. Okay, so how this can be added is, so into the resources. Okay, into the resources you'll be adding all these images, so that images will be displayed in the screen. Okay, and you could see picture 5 is selected as one message. Okay, picture 5 is selected as one message, and this concept we call it as toast message, because we are using this toast message the next coming slide. So for that, I'll say just now what is meant by the toast. Toast is nothing but, so this will be displayed. Okay, whenever we perform some action, it will be performed like this. Okay. So this we call it as toast message. Okay, so this we call it as a grid view. So here we are using toast to make the get the base context. Picture one, which is selected. The position plus one, which is selected. So this we call it as toast message. So that is what we see. How many images are selected? That will be displayed as a toast message. Just it will be viewed on the top of the screen, and then it will go off. That's it. Based upon the selection. Okay. So for grid view, we have shown it here on click. And I'm going to click the particular image. Okay. What happens to the image? So here we'll be using the on-click listener. You can see on item click listener. When I'm going to click for a particular item, okay, what should happen? So it automatically should get added. It should get counted one by one. So that is what we expected. And then finally, we are going to see how many items are selected. So for that, we are also using the adapter view here. There is one view is adapter view. Why? Because it has to balance the memory part also, because in your gallery you may have 1,000 pictures or 10,000 pictures too. So obviously we need to use some adapter view to view the particular images which are inside your database. Maybe the 1,000 pictures or 10,000 pictures you need to view. So definitely here we go for the concept called adapter view. So one adapter view was the use, this grid view is the one adapter view. So this grid view is the one adapter view. We are setting the set adapter. Okay, we are going to set adapter, and adapter is the adapter. That is grid view is the adapter. Okay, for the grid view, we use adapter, and that adapter will help you to select the element. For selecting the element, we just long press on the images, and then we use the toast message to count the number of element, and that has to be displayed on the screen based upon the selection. Okay, so this is how it works. And for that grid, we can set the layouts. We can also set the padding as well as set layouts. What should be the height and width? All those stuffs we can be selected. Okay, so you can, if you read it here, you can find the exact meaning for that. So with the grid view, you can specify the size of the images and how images are spaced out in the grid view by setting up padding for each image. Padding is nothing but the gap between each images. What should be the top, what should be left or right, bottom, all those we can set. So that we call it as padding. Okay, for an image, I can, for all the four corners, I can set the padding. Okay, so this is all about the images, or I can say image view or gallery view, I can say. Okay, and this we discussed by last class itself. That is the menu in Android. So this we discussed by last class. Okay. So menus are nothing but the common groups of interface components in many types of application, and this can be categorized into three types. I said. Okay. So this menu can be categorized into three types. I think now you could remember this diagram. Based by last class we discussed, there are three different menus are available. One is context menu, pop-up menu, and optional menu. Okay. The content what we discussed till now is the new thing, because this is also included, so I've added to that. And then this is the menus: context menu, pop-up menu, and optional menu, or the content, or the three different types we have inside the menu itself. And also we seen what are the three different types. Okay. So this is the slide which we discussed last class also. So, and we say the Android option menu. What is Android option menu? What is the context menu? What is pop-up menu? And what are the difference between all these three? Okay, so that we discussed by last class itself. And the next comes the add the app bar. Add the app bar. App bar is nothing but action bar. Okay, we are going to add the app bar into our layout. So what is that app bar? Action bar is the okay action bar. So that how that action bar can be added into your that is the layout. Okay. So till now, any doubts so far? Before we start with this action bar, do you have any doubt? Do you have any doubt? If you have any doubt, we'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next one, adding the application the action bar.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. No other response. Okay, 73 have joined. So we assume that there is no doubt, and if there is any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. And the thing is that whenever we learn this kind of topic, we need to know the theoretical concept and as well as the coding part. Coding part is nothing but where it is used. Maybe this may be expected when you write when you write in terms of an exam point of like that. See, for example, what are the components are used for achieving this? Like that. Only with the help of these things, we are going to work with the program part, right? So like that, this may be expected. Same way as we shown in the previous case, right? There is an action that is the menu. So in this menu, these three are important: menu, item, and group. So what is menu? How this menu is mapped here? So you can see the map. Menu is mapped here, and item is mapped here. And coming to group, it is invisible for the item elements. It is invisible. So group is nothing but as we see in right the radio button. So for first question, I have four choices. So that will be grouped together. If I have second question for that four group. So since that group is invisible, that is optional. You can leave it. But if I'm going to have a menu, so under the menu button only, I need to start, and then I need to list the items which should come inside the particular menu. Okay, like that. One ID is mail, another would be upload, and third one would be share. So now we have three items inside the menu, inside the mail. Sorry, inside the menu. Okay, inside this menu we have three items. So one item would be mail, another item would be upload. Okay, and another item would be say this one share. So like this, we will be having the individual items in the particular menu. Okay, and that can also be grouped together. Like that, you need to understand the features which are available inside a particular concept. For example, if I say menu, we have three like that. Okay, same way now we are going to see discuss the action bar. So app bar is also known as the action bar and is one of the most important design element in our app activities. Okay, because it provides a visual structure to an interactive element that are familiar to the user. It is going to provide you an interactive interface to the user. Okay. So using the app bar makes your application consistent with other Android apps, allowing user to quickly understand how to operate your app and have a great experience. So this is nothing but it is again it is also acting as an interface between the user as well as the application. So this will help you to communicate, okay, between the application as well as the user. For that we are going to use, and now we are going to discuss what are the key functions of the app bar. Okay, which are used. Okay, the first one, a dedicated space for giving up your app an identity and indicator user location in the app. So first one help you to give the identity and user location in the app. So we'll see in the example next slide, so you can understand that. Access to important action in the predictable way, such as search. Okay, search is something. When I say search, example, we are going to have some search in the particular framework or a particular frame or on a particular screen. Okay, support for navigation to view switching. Support for navigation and view switching, like view tabs or drop down list. Okay, for example, if you say this, I can say this is the action bars. If you see at the PPT, now I'm moving my cursor right, where you could see my cursor at the left bottom. All these we call it as action bar. If I want to move to a previous slide, I can move. If I want to come to next slide, I can come. If I want to edit something, I can edit. Or if I want to change the layout views, I can what. If I want to search something, I can search. Or if you want some other action, I can perform this some other action. So by clicking this, you have again a menu. This is the menu, and all these we call it as the action bar. So this is what we call it as action bar. Okay, and this is a simple example for the action bar. I have three example: one, two, three. We have three example. Okay, so the first example where you could see is these two example. These two example is for okay. These two example is for the top. So when we are going to add the action bar at the top of the screen, and this example, which is shown to the right hand side, shows that this is at the bottom of the screen. In your application, okay, in your application, if you are going to have the action bar, that action bar either can be placed at the top of the screen like this. These are some of the examples. This is one example, second example, third example, and we can also place the element at the bottom of the screen also, and we'll see what are the components here. Either it can be top of the screen or at the bottom of the screen. We'll see what are all the components which are here at the action bar. So I have named it here. First one, number one, here you can see the number one. So number one is nothing but the container. It is the container, and number two is nothing but navigation icon. This is the navigation icon, and three is nothing but floating action button, FAB, floating action button, and four is nothing but action item. Okay, it is nothing but search, and five is nothing but overflow menu. So how I shown it, right? Overflow menu. So this one is one of the menu I said, right? The same way here we have the three dotted line, and that we call it as the overflow menu. So either it can be added at the bottom. So if you take the PPT in the presentation, this is added at the bottom, or you can also have it at the top here on the particular screen. Okay, so in this example it is added at the top. So what is added? So we have the navigation icon, we have the navigation icon, and we have the title, or we say the container. This you can call it as a container, and this three dots we call it as the overflow menu. Okay, and we have some actions. We have some actions here, like we have some text button. Sorry, this is the edit. In that we edit, and then we have the send button. Okay, all these are the one example for action bar. And coming to the second example, so when we are selecting the images, what happens? So there are totally 123 photos. So if the image is getting selected, obviously we have an action performed. What action is performed, how many elements are selected, and what we need to do for the particular image selected. Either you want to upload it, or you want to delete it, or some action menus, or some overflow menu. If you click this overflow menu, there you'll have there you will list multiple actions for the particular image selected. Okay, so all these are some of the action bar examples. I hope you follow this. What is meant by an action bar? Okay, either this action bar can be placed at the top of the screen, or it can be at the bottom of the screen. It can be positioned at anywhere, any location. And these are all the components for the action bars. Okay, you'll have a container. Inside that container you will have the navigation icon, you will have the menu icon, you'll have some actions, okay, action icons to be performed, and also you'll have the floating action buttons. Okay, all these are some of the components inside the action bar, and this is what given here in the text here. So when you say the app icon, app branding logo or icon to be displayed, and we come to the view control, a dedicated space to display the application title, which also provides option to switch between views by adding spinner or tab navigation. Okay, and then action buttons. Some important action of an app that can be added here. Action buttons and action overflows. All unimportant action will be shown in the menu. That is unimportant, but it may be used that all unimportant will be shown as action overflow button. Okay, so this is what we call it as action bar and its components. Okay, and when we want to go for adding this action bar in the program, when we are going to work with program, and these are all the features I can say, or the major parameters that to be considered. First one again, ID, how we seen for the previous case. ID, this ID we discussed, right? Here we discussed some ID, right? ID dot mail, said ID dot share. Okay, like that. So that ID is important when we come to this action bar. ID is important, and then the title for the particular action. What is the title? And the icon. What is the icon you are going to place for a particular application? You are going to develop an application. For that, you have your own icon also. Okay, and for each and every screen, what icon you want to display, you can display it. And then set action, show as action. Okay, show as action. That is the last. All these has to be essential when we are going to work with the particular action bar. Okay, in your program. And these are the features, and this is the example, and this is the definition. What key features, what we need, what we are going to do with the action bar. Okay, I hope you follow this action bar, right? Same way, we are going to discuss some additional views also. Apart from that, we have some additional views also, like how we say picker view, like action bar, how we say that picking of date and time, date picker and time picker. Okay, like that, we have some additional views also. It is like analog clock, a digital clock, and the web view. All these are some of the additional views which are available in the Android. So you know basically what is an Android clock and digital clock. As well as web view also, you know it. Okay, we'll see now one by one. So analog clock and digital clock views. So analog clock views displays the analog clock with the two hands, you know that. So one for minute, another one for hour. So and its counterpart is would be a digital obviously. Okay. So the counterpart displays the digital clock view, and it displays the time digitally. Okay. So both display the system time alone. We can't set our own time. Why? Because it will take the reference from the system, which is internally the whole hardware. We will be running some hardware clock, right? So based upon that, automatically it will be assigned and then it will be set. So both display the system time and do not allow you to display a particular time. You can't display a particular time. Based upon the reference clock, it will take the clock and then this should be displayed. And third one is web view. So the web view enables you to embed your web browser into your activity. Web view is obviously says it is a web browser like Chrome or Opera or Mozilla. So we'll be using the web view. For that, we'll be depending upon the browser. Okay, it is very useful in your application that needs to embed some web components such as map. Okay, map from some other providers and so on. So we can also embed some web content to the particular web browser. Okay. So if I want to show you the example for this analog and the web view digital clock, you know, so I have the example for also I can show the example here for all things we have. So this is the analog clock where we have hours and second, and this at the bottom where you could see the digital clock. At the bottom where you could see the digital clock, this is the analog, and this is the web view. This is an example for web view. There is we open the application with the help of web browser. Either it is a PDF application or some files you want to view. Okay, or you want to log into your email, something. So on that time, what happens? Automatically, your web browser will be enabled, and then based upon that web view only, we are going to act accordingly. So this is the example for the some additional views. So when we come to the additional views, it can be like clock kind of application or web view kind of application. Okay. So these are the some other additional views which are available in our Android, and how this can be added. So this is the coding part which I have added. So if I want to have the gallery, so we'll be setting the main thing, which is main that I'm going to add, that only I have added here. So when I say the gallery, it displays the series of images in a horizontal scrolling list. So for that we have the ID, and then width and height depending upon the parent. Parent is nothing but based upon the screen size, it will automatically adjust. And then image view. So image view is nothing but how the image has to be viewed, what is the width and height. Okay, all these we are going to set. And then image switcher view. Just now we seen with the switcher view, it performs animation when switching between images. I said you one example as fade in and fade out. Same way, you can also have the different switching images animations. Okay, and for that you can also set the left and right margins. All those we can set it based upon the current parent. Okay, and the use of grid views. You know what is mean by grid view? We display the images in a different small grids. Okay, the same image will be placed in the grid view, and when I press the particular image, that will come to a normal view. So that is nothing but image view. It will be initially in a grid view when you press the particular image, and I can make it available in a image view. Okay, based upon the height and width you specified in the particular image, what should be the standard size. Okay, that one. If you want further, you can zoom it or zoom out anything, or we can do it. But in grid view we have some restrictions. Okay, and here you could see what is the vertical spacing, horizontal spacing, column width. All these we will be setting. All these will be set, and that is how we design a grid view. It's so image switcher view, grid view, image view, all these we discussed just now. And then coming to analog clock and digital clock and web view. Okay, so we'll be setting the all these parameters for the it is also one kind of withers we can say, like analog clock, digital clock, web view. Okay, all this one are the layouts I can say, or it can also be added to the wizards category too. Okay, and the next comes the, before we go to the next one, so there is the user design and different layouts. So is there any doubt so far? So as of now we see different views which can be added to your layout. So you are making your UI much richful. That's it. Your user interface should be much catchy and much with a higher design. So for that, what are all the elements you have, or components you have, or okay, or items you have? How we are going to make your particular screen or a layout much beautiful. So for that, we go for this kind of elements, items. Okay, so starting from the basic view, radio button, check boxes, all buttons, text boxes, edit text. From considering that till this speaker view, adapter view, okay, menu view, action bar, like analog clock, digital clock, web view, all these comes under different views. All these are the different views which are available. Not only restricted to this, there are many views. Since our syllabus is restricted to only this, I am stopping up to this part. Okay, since our syllabus is very much restricted to this 3 or 4 kind of category, I'm also starting up. I'm stopping up to this. So any doubt in this so far? And if you say that any doubt, we'll discuss. And no doubt, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, the different layouts. Let's see some chat. Started giving your arguments. I thought it is somebody is asking some doubt. Please don't leave. We wait for some time. I have not completed the class. If there is any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one, layouts. The layouts will stop. Okay, we have 3 or 4 more slides left pending. We'll stop up to layout, and this will start by next class. Material design Android will start by next class. We have 4 or 5 more slides to wind up our class, because this layout already we've seen in our earlier session itself. Okay, six more slides to go. We'll stop up to this, and the rest we'll discuss in the next class. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So if no doubt, we'll proceed further. So next one, what you're going to see is the Android user interface design and different layouts for the UI design. Okay. So we always talk with layout. Even though we studied layout earlier, so it is one of the these are the two different definition what we can say for a layout. You know what a layout is exactly? Okay. So if I want to say it as a definition, we have two definitions here. So a type of resources that defines what is drawn on the screen. What is drawn is nothing but what we plug and play here. Okay, so that we call it as a layout. So the layout resources are stored as an XML file. So just now we've seen, right? The XML file in the resources layout resource directory for the application. Okay, a layout resources is simply a template for the use of user interface screen or a portion of screen and content. Okay, so it is an look how your screen should look like. So for example, if you say this start menu, so how this menu should look like, you design it. Okay, this should be a list view, this should be a grid view. Okay, it is combined of both. Okay, it contains of image view. Here it has the image. Here now actually it contains image. If I place my cursor, what happens? It contains list. Now this itself has the list view as well as the image view. But sorry, grid view. Both it has. So like that, how it has to be designed. What are the different layout that can be that can be added so that my app may be much look and feel. Okay, it can be good look and feel. So all this becomes under layout. And these are the common three layouts which we often use. One is the linear layout, the relative layout, and web view. Web view, just now we've seen what is meant by web view. Okay, it displays the web pages. And apart from that, we have common layouts like the linear layout and relative layout. So when we say it is a linear layout, the name itself says, so the layout that organizes its children into a single horizontal or vertical row. As you seen, I've shown you, right? So when I press this, what happens? It is organized in a either horizontal or a vertical row, or either in a row or in a column. Okay. So it creates a scrollable bar if the length of the window exceeds the length of the screen. Also, you know this, right? When you press this, you also have the scrollable. You have the scroll, right? You have a scrollable bar. So this is what we call it as the linear layout. And coming to the relative layout, it combines many things. So enables you to specify the location of the child objects related to each child. And that is the child A to the left of child B or to the parent, aligned to the particular top parent. So how it has to be positioned with respect to left child, right child, top, bottom. So we are going to set the position where it has to be positioned. Okay, where it has to be exactly positioned on the screen. So that we call it as the relative layout. And third comes the web view. We displays the web pages of the current page or the current item to be displayed. Okay, so that we call it as the web view. And coming to the relative layout, so just now we've seen what is a relative. So some more explanation, in-depth explanation about relative layout. So this relative layout, as the name suggests, shows the position of the component related to each other. So we are going to position where you want, either to be top or left, bottom, center, okay, or next to the particular current image. If it is next to the image where it has to be positioned, like that, we are going to set. So the position can be specified with respect to the consecutive elements or to the parent component. Based upon that, we are going to assign. So the relative layout is most flexible layout provided by the Android, and it lets you to position element on the screen by default. It sets all the component at the top left of the layout. Okay. So what is the default element where it will be fixed is at the top left of the layout. All the elements will be placed initially. So based upon that, after you place that, next elements will be automatically configured. Okay. And this is the linear layout. So the linear layout in Android allows us to arrange components horizontally in a single row or a column. Okay. So this we call it as the linear layout. Either it can be in this form, horizontal, or it can be in this form, either linear or horizontal. Okay. And the third one is web view. Just now we seen the web view. What is meant by web view? And for the web view, if you could see the last 2 points or 1 point, you can see for this web view, if you want to have an internet permission, so you can also add permission to the web view. Okay, user permission Android name equal to android.permission.internet. Okay, for the particular web view, if you want to have the internet connectivity, you can also add the internet permission to the existing web view design layout itself. Okay. and all these are the different types of Android layouts. So this also we seen in the starting of the class itself. There is in unit number 1 we seen, and we selectively focus on some layouts only. So I'm showing this. So some different layouts of stack layout, absolute layout, relative layout, grid layout, content view, scroll view, and frame. Okay. So all these are different Android layouts which are available. Till this I'll stop, and the next topic would be the material design for Android. So this we'll discuss by next class. Okay. So this will be our next class content where we'll be discussing the wizards. Okay, all this we'll be discussing the next class. Okay. So we have two more topics. One is the material as well as fragments. Okay, that will be discussed by next class. All this we call it as fragments. Fragments and Android that will be discussed by next class. And then Android life cycle. Okay. So if there is any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, if you don't have any doubt, you can leave your register number. Okay. So today's class we discussed regarding the layouts and the action. That is the menu bars which are available. So grid view, the grid menu, image menu. Okay, all those picture views, all these we discussed today. And if you don't have any doubt, you can leave your register numbers for attendance.